about to leave. Already packing, come with me. I'm not.
Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy Now. Hello friends and enemies, welcome back to Happy for Now. It's me Isabel here, or Izzy, with my January reading wrap up. So before we dive into my numbers this month, I read a lot of books, y'all. We have discussed this month over month. If you're new here, you may not be used to the volume at which I read, and it does vary wildly month to month. So this month was a good reading month for me, and I did read a lot. But it's also totally okay if you didn't read anything, if you read one book, if you read two, whatever the number is. If you just like hearing people talk about books and maybe you're not consuming a lot right now, that is okay. And I don't want you to compare yourself to me and my reading month. I hope that makes sense. And I hope you find that helpful, because you don't need to compare yourself to me. We all have different lives, we all have different commitments, and that varies our reading. And I bring this up because Ashley over at Bookish Realm had a really great discussion recently about reading numbers and our obsession with like reading X amount of books in a month, and how we discuss that with people. And I read a good bit this month. I probably could have read more than I did, but I didn't because I got lost in some other things. And that's okay. You don't have to read like I do. So we'll talk about my stats. We will talk about all the books I read in rating order, and then I will do a manga section at the end to update you on all the mangas I've been reading. And I will leave timestamps in the description box down below for you so you can jump around if you want. All right, first up, let's talk about those stats this month. I'm pretty happy with myself. I felt a little slumpy coming into January, I'm not gonna lie to you, and I really leaned into mangas because of that slumpy feeling, and novellas and short things. So I read 29 books, 7,051 pages, and 22-ish hours of audio listened to. I finished 6 ebooks, 8 audiobooks, 3 physical mangas, 9 digital mangas, and 2 in mixed format, which means I listened to them either I read and listened to them, or I switched back and forth, etc. I had 13 5-star reads, I had 1 4.5-star read, 13 4-star reads, 1 3.5-star read, and 1 2-star read. Mangas for me, generally, that I'm picking up are recommended to me by my friends, and I do tend to rate them 4 or 5 stars because I don't have enough reading background with it yet, so I feel like always differentiate between maybe a 3.5 and a 4. But I can usually tell when something's a 4 or 5. I hope that makes sense. And I also read 9 new to me authors in January, which is awesome. I really like tracking who I'm reading that's new to me this year. Along with my diversity stats, which were high this month because of all the manga I read, but lower on the regular books I read scale. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. All right. Also, let's talk about my unread book accumulation. I've been tracking this on Instagram, and I thought I would bring it to my monthly wrap-ups. If y'all are interested, if you're not, that's fine. Just let me know. I won't include it. But I had 1,084 unread books on my Kindle as of January 1. I actually took the time this month to go through and mark all the books that I said I would probably never read as read so that they would not count in that total. I've had a Kindle since like 2008, so it's a lot. I got one pretty early on and have been using them ever since. I love Kindles. It is why I'm able to read so much. But as of February 1st, I'm down to 1,069 unread books on my Kindle, which is great. I'm very, very happy with that number. I think that, you know, I'm in great shape to knock this number down for the year. And I will say that of all my owned books, I did stats, and we'll discuss this more when I do an unread books on my shelf discussion video. I've read like almost 40% of them. So I'm really, like, it's a big number, do not get me wrong. But I'm also reading a lot, and I'm reading a lot of those unread books that I own. So don't think like I'm bonkers that I have so many. I will eventually probably get to them. And some I may start in DNF, which I'm gonna tell you about my one DNF of January. One of my big goals is honestly is to DNF books when I'm not feeling them, as maybe I come back to later, and not push myself through something I'm not enjoying to avoid any book slumps. And that first DNF, unfortunately, was These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I really wanted to love this book, and I didn't hate it, I just could not get into it. The writing is very, very lyrical. It is very flowery. I really liked the setting and the atmosphere of the book. I just wasn't engaged. I kept picking up my Kindle to read, and I was picking up every other book but this, which to me was a sign that right now is not the time to read this book. So I have DNF'd it for now. It is not a hard DNF. It is a book that I would like to revisit at some point, possibly via audio. We'll see. All right, I had no 1-star reads, so that was just awesome. I love not having a 1-star, but I did have a 2.5 star read, which was Baby It's Cold by Madison Faye. This is free from her newsletter. You cannot buy Madison Faye on Amazon anymore. She got banned, so just an FYI, if you hear me talk about her again, probably not in this wrap up, but in a future one, you have to go to her website and buy them through Eden Bookstore or PayHip. And so far, I don't recommend Baby It's Cold, but she has another book that also comes free in her newsletter right now called 15 Inches that other people have liked more. These are very smutty novels, novellas, situations. Baby It's Cold features the Baby It's Cold Outside song told as a story that's an erotic next door neighbor / dad's best friend. It felt creepy and it just didn't work for me. I think I needed a little more setup. It also had quite a few typos and some grammatical stuff. And I don't ding too much on those items, but it just, I don't know, it just overall did not work at all. So I definitely don't recommend that one. But I'm excited to read more by Madison Faye in the future. Then we have my 3.5 star that everyone loves and I'm still confused by. Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. I'm not gonna spoil the book here, just so you know. I do have content warnings on my Goodreads review, so be sure to check that out if you do wanna pick this book up. There's quite a few content warnings. I would call this dark romance light. It is an entry point into dark romance if you were looking for that. That is historical. It was good. It wasn't bad. It took a long time for anything to happen as far as like steam levels or like it really being that taboo, in my opinion. It really was just more like, oh, she's married to someone and is a captive, captured by this other admiral in the British Navy, and you know, she's gonna try and seduce him so she doesn't get killed when they get to England. That's the basic plot, and it unfolded in pretty much every single way I expected it to. It wasn't bad. It was not bad by any means. I would like to try some other Pam Godwins. I've heard good things about other ones. I'm curious to see if I'll like them more. I just think Sea of Ruin just didn't do it for me at the end of the day. And it's one that it took me like half the month to read because I just kept not going back to it. Yeah, but I think if you're looking for a dark historical and you're looking for an entry point into darker romances, this might be a good one to pick up. Next, we have my 4 stars. So we have Party Favors by Erin McKellen. This is a novella holiday romance. I talk about this in my mid-month wrap-up. This is sapphic. Highly, highly recommend. It is part of Kindle Unlimited. You can check out that mid-month wrap-up for more info on that one. And then we also have Deal with the Demon by Chase Verity, which is also in my mid-month wrap-up and I absolutely adored. Solid 4.5 star read. I need to read more Chase Verity ASAP because if their writing is reflective of that, I just like can't wait. I cannot wait. I also read Highland Spitfire by Mary Wine, which I gave a 3.5 to. It was a really cute Highland historical romance. She definitely was a take no shit heroine, and I believe I talked about that in my vlog for the historical romance readathon, which was I think after the mid-month wrap-up. So that was a really fun one and I very much enjoyed it. Then I read Night Song by Beverly Jenkins, which I gave a 4 out of 5 to. This is such a great, it's so great to go back and read her debut and see things that honestly I didn't expect necessarily. I didn't expect to see as much of her current day writing in something that debuted for her in the 90s, but it's there. Like her strong heroines, her strong characters, strong family dynamics, strong sense of community are all there in Night Song. And so it's kind of cool to see that now, to like see that from then to now where we're at with Beverly's writing. And it's just, it was really good to see her growth. I quite enjoyed Chase and crap, I can't remember her name. Anyways, I enjoyed both of them a lot. I think this was a fun one for the most part. There are content warnings for racism and murder, lynching, and kidnapping, and a miscarriage. Just an FYI. It did feel a little bit long, I will say that overall too. I read Air by Katie Robert, which is the sequel to Sacrifice, and this was so good. I really, really liked it. Another solid 4.5, 5-star, almost 5-star read. Just not quite there. I think the ending for me was just a little like, oh man. Because you gotta wait for book 3 now. It's turned back into a trilogy, which is fine. I just kind of I don't like being left on a cliffhanger at the end of the day, and that's always gonna dock stars for me. So it docked some stars for me on this, but I can't wait. This is out February 15th for everyone else. If you are a member of her Patreon, it is up there now, which is how I got it. I'm buddy reading Daughter of Smoke and Bone, the whole trilogy, with Laura from Laura's Library Card and Megan from Meowth the Vader. We just finished this book up in January. We ended up, we were gonna read like half of it for 2 weeks and the second half for 2 weeks of February, and we all just finished it. This is my Illumicrate edition of the book. It's freaking gorgeous. Look at Brimstone. Anyways, this is a YA classic, I would say, right? Like, it's a classic. I really, 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 really love this book. I will show you though. I wanted to show underneath the dust jacket. There's a quote, not that you can read it. And then there is artwork. So I just thought that was beautiful. Anyways, this is the, oh my God, words. This is one of those books that I read a long time ago and I loved revisiting it. The end for me always just kind of knocks it down a 0.5 star. I don't love the end of book 1. It's definitely a gripping and slightly depressing read. It's about Karoo and Akiva, and Akiva is an angel and Karoo is a, I guess, demon. I don't know what to call her. Anyways, she and him should not be together, and they're kind of falling in love in book 1, and there's adventure and chaos, and it's really good. I really, really like this. I find Laini Taylor's writing just utterly engaging. Like, when I start a Laini Taylor book, I don't want to put it down, and I end up reading the whole book in no time flat. So highly recommend Daughter of Smoke and Bone if you haven't checked it out yet. If you have, I mean, I'm glad because it's so good. All right, now my 5 stars. All right, I'm gonna run through everything I talked about in my mid-month wrap up so that we don't have to rehash it here again. We have Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. I read the graphic novel. I've already listened to the audiobook of this before, narrated by Jason Reynolds. Highly recommend the audiobook, highly recommend the graphic novel if you've already read the audiobook, but I do think you should either pair them. Like, you shouldn't just read the graphic novel. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. A Lat's Away by Darcy Little Badger was phenomenal. Such a good read. It's not gonna be, I can't wait to read more from her, is all I can say about that. And Hunger Like No Other by Cressley Cole, which is kind of an all-time favorite situation. I gave it 5 stars because it's not my favorite in the series, but I think we're gonna start seeing some 6 stars in the Immortals After Dark series as I continue my reread with the read-along. I also finished No Rest for the Wicked by Cressley Cole in my mid-month wrap-up and talked about it there. And, ooh, I scrolled. And we also have Across the Greengrass Fields by Shae Maguire, which is the next book in the Wayward Children series. This is a great entry point. I really, really liked it. Content warnings on my Goodreads. All right, let's talk about the couple books that I gave 5 stars that we didn't talk about in my mid-month. I feel like my front half of the month was loaded with 5 stars, y'all. So first of all, we have The Lotus Palace by Jeannie Lin. This was the Romance Sparks Joy pick of the month. We interviewed Jeannie Lin in our Discord server. Link is down below if you want to join us for next month. We're reading Jackie Lau's A Girlfriend for Chinese New Year. I think I got the title right. Anyways, we read a book a month from an underrepresented author with different tropes is what we're doing right now. So join us. It's chill. We usually have an author in to chat and we do lots of giveaways. But I read The Lotus Palace for this, and honestly, if you want a historical that's not set in Europe, that is not set in like your usual settings, this is perfect. It has a mystery element. There is like the brothel situation happening and a lower class person marrying a higher like stationed person and then falling in love while they solve this mystery. And I can't tell you too much, but it was so freaking good. And the second book was on sale and I've already bought it and I plan to read it. It was kind of the perfect thing to take me out of the world for a little bit and escape versus like a European historical where I often feel like I'm focusing on a lot of different things than I do in a non-European historical. Also, I felt like I was getting to just explore a whole new world of things that I'm not super aware of because in America, we get taught a lot of Americanized history. We don't always get the full scope of things. And then I read Wicked Deeds at Night's Edge. Wait, shit. I just want y'all to know that I like literally can never keep these names straight. Wicked Deeds. Wicked Deeds on a Winter's Night by Cressley Cole, which is Bowen McReeve and what is her name? Mariketta's book. So Mariketta's a witch. She's badass. I love her. Bowen is like this sad alpha, the saddest alpha. Like he got hurt so bad, and he's just still so traumatized from that hurt that he honestly is just trying to figure it out still a little bit, I feel like, and that's okay. I love it. I love it so much. I really liked Mariketta as a heroine. I really love witches in books, so of course I'm gonna be thrilled to read a witch heroine. I love this series so much. I go on and on about it in my Immortals After Dark blog, which if you've read the books, you should definitely check out. If you haven't read them, it's full of spoilers, so proceed with caution. But yeah, I really loved this book, and I cannot wait to dive into the next 3 for February, and there is a Discord link in the description box if you come talk about them with us as you read them. Even if you're behind, you can come chat about the books, like totally chill. It's 3 books a month. Like we're not doing a ton. All right, y'all, we're gonna move into manga, so let's do that. All right, are y'all ready for this manga wrap up? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Thank you, Shae, so much. I have really, Shae, Dylan, all of the MangaTube creators I follow, y'all have like embraced me wholeheartedly and like given me the best recs. And that is why we are where we are right now, that I have read so many mangas this month. I also, again, I've said it before, I felt a little slumpy coming into January, and I knew I wanted to take some time to read mangas because they're quick hits. Like I'm not committing hours to a manga. I'm committing usually 30 to 45 minutes, give or take, depending on the book. So let's run through them. I'm gonna tell you what I read. I read volume 5 of Sweat and Soap. I continue to love this story immensely. I think this is a great entry point if you are maybe like me and you grew up on Sailor Moon and read some mangas previously and you want to read an adult workplace romance with a like cute slice of life style to it. Sweat and Soap may be a great starting point. I read volume 3 of Food Wars, which I also quite enjoyed. I think I gave it like 3.5 stars. I'm continuing to watch the anime with my partner, and we're almost caught up. So as soon as we're caught up with the anime, probably within a month or so, I will go back and start reading more Food Wars on my Viz app because it is on there. I think the complete series is on there, so I'm really excited to read more Food Wars. Food Wars is a food cooking competition high school situation, and it's definitely an adult manga. Do not read this. Maybe don't read it in public, okay? Like, there's some things, there's some stuff in there. Then I read volume 1 of Dreaming Sun, which I have, but I don't have it up here where I'm filming. I quite enjoyed this. This is about a girl who's trying to like figure her life out. She runs away from home and starts staying in this house with a bunch of people. And the whole thing about it is kind of her building confidence, it seems like. I'm excited to read a couple more volumes. I'll probably read the whole series pretty quickly because there's only like 10 volumes. And it is by the same person who wrote Orange. And I really need to actually write down the manga artists' names because I keep forgetting to. So, sorry. I also read volume 2 of The Demon Prince of Momochi House, which I, again, am really liking. This is like my sweet spot. I love Fruits Basket. I love Kamikaze Kiss, what I've read of it. So this is just kind of hitting that spot of like a demon boy and a cute girl falling in love. It's all I want in my life. Give me all the demons. So I read 1 volume of Snow White with the Red Hair, and I really liked it. And one of my subscribers recommended it to you, whoever it was. I'm sorry, I can't. My brain right now, I can see your profile. I know. Was it Melissa? It might have been Melissa. I'm not sure. Melissa, was it you? Somebody recommended it in my comments and I was like, oh yes. And so I picked it up because my library had, one of the libraries I'm a member of had it. And I'm really excited to continue it, but I don't want to read like a ton of fantasy. So I'm trying to, I'll talk about it in a minute. Anyways, I really liked it. I can't wait to read more. And I actually really want to check out the anime because it looks really cute. I read volumes 1 through 5 of Blue Flag. So I'm now up to date on this manga. This is I know this is by Kaido. I remember that. Oh my gosh, I remembered one of the peoples. I'm really bad about that. And again, I apologize. I will do better next month. But I read all 5 volumes. They were all available to me through the Brooklyn Public Library that I'm a member of, an out-of-state member of. Links down below if you want to check out my video on out-of-state library cards. Great way to get mangas. Anyways, I read all 5 volumes. I'm now up to date on the series and I really like it. This is a very cute slice of life, high school adult book. I don't know all the manga category names. Sorry, not sorry. I'll figure it out one day. I only have so much brain capacity. Anyways, I really liked this. I gave like the first few volumes 4 stars and then it slowly built into 5 stars. We are watching 4 friends total. 2 boys who have been friends for a long time and 2 girls who have been friends for a long time. And both of their friends are LGBTQ, like they are gay or bi in some way and are in love with their best friend. But the 2 best friends, the boy and girl one, are like falling in love with each other, and it's just very like, not heartbreaking. It's a very like slow, sweet book. I love watching their friendships develop and grow as a group unit and how that's working overall. Really enjoying it. Can't wait to read volume 6. Then I read Cutie and the Beast volume 2 by Yui Azumi. I really liked volume 2. I gave it 4.5 stars. I'm a little angry at the ending. Like Shae said, this is what happens in mangas, and I understand. I just am never up to date, and now I am, and I'm like, I have to wait. There's not even a date for the 3rd book yet. I have to wait. But I'm really liking this. This is about Momoka, who is in love with Kuga, who is a wrestler, and he's a heel in the wrestling show situation. And she's like 18 and she's in high school, and he's 28, so it's a big age gap. It's definitely like a little bit on the taboo scale, okay? Like, be ready. But they don't do anything like inappropriate yet, at least, and you know, at least she's 18. I can at least deal with that a little bit better than I could if she was like 17. But yeah, they just kind of have started dating, and it's really cute. And I really like Kuga. Like, he's such an adorable little bean. So freaking cute. And then I have volumes 1 and 2. This is volume 1 and volume 2. Fire in His Fingertips. A flirty fireman ravishes me with his smoldering gaze. This is by Kawano Tanishi. What do I say about this? I posted a little preview image on my Instagram. I don't know. I like literally probably can't even show you most of these pages on any kind of internet service, okay? It would get flagged. So that's the kind of book this is. It is very dirty. It is very fun. So Ryo is has a childhood friend named Soma, who she tries to set him up with somebody. Doesn't work out. She ends up like in a fire and he saves her. And then they end up living together for a little bit. And he kind of bullies his way into their relationship. There is content warning for some dubious consent here, y'all. Just FYI, there's dubious consent in this book. It's kind of a thing for Japanese women to be hesitant about sex. They're not supposed to want it, so there's some of that in this. At no point does it feel like she's not enjoying it, so I went in knowing that and I was okay with it, but you may not be okay with it. These will come wrapped in plastic because they are not for children, y'all. These are full adult books. Like, they doing the dirty on the pages. But yeah, if you want to see a page, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I'm happy to send some photos over of a page so you can see what it looks like before you dive in, maybe. I really love this series. And I'm very sad because we do not have a date either for volume 3 of this one, unfortunately. But I gave both of them like 5 stars. They were very fun to read. And then last but not least, I read volume 1 and 2 of Oh Haru Ride, which I got wrecked from Shae as a series that's finished. And my Brooklyn Public Library card has all of those books. So I picked them up. I gave book 1 a 4-star, and I think I gave book 2 a 4-star, and I'm hoping to finish the series in February because it was really, really cute. This is a childhood friends who were separated and are reunited in high school, and he's like kind of pretending he's not him when she confronts him, and he's kind of a dick now, and she's trying to figure out what happened, and it's very, very cute and very sweet. So that was my reading month. That was a long one. Let me know what your favorite book of January was, and if not, drop a snowflake emoji because it is freaking cold here. I am freezing my butt off out here in the Carolinas right now, and I'm not used to this kind of weather at all. My southern blood is like, no thank you. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. You can find links to anything I talked about in the description box down below, and links to all of my social media platforms if you want to be my friend anywhere on the internet, along with links to all the Discords I talked about. So be sure to check them out. I'll see y'all in a few days. Bye.
Really asking, we'll get away to a place where we don't know.